Hello my dear viewers, today I'm gonna share with you some footage from my solo trip to Kiev, which took place in October 2023, and talk a bit about the phenomena of resilience and what psychological studies revealed about kindness. So, if you'd like to see how people lived during the times of war in Kiev, welcome to my autumnal vlog. On this channel, I share ideas and tips on mindfulness, better relationship with yourself, and ways of fighting anxiety and depression, using scientifically proven methods like cognitive behavioral therapy. If you want to support me, subscribe to my channel, click like under this video and a little bell not to miss my future videos. Also, feel free to share my videos with your friends and leave a comment. I'm open for a discussion. I haven't visited Kiev, my native city and capital of Ukraine, since we left. It was in the middle of February 2022, and we went on a holiday to Barcelona. There are a few videos about that trip. You can find the link in the description. After Russia invaded, we moved to Bulgaria, where we have a house in a rural area. I made quite a few vlogs about our slow living here. Check out the link in the description as well. I went there to sort out some paperwork and visit my aunt, the only relative who's left in Ukraine. I was thinking about doing it for a long time, but hesitated because I didn't want to leave Naomi, my 3-year-old daughter. We never separated before, and I wasn't sure it would be a good idea to leave her for so long, for 10 days. Spoiler, everything went well. She was happy to be with her daddy. Then I wasn't sure about my own emotions when I'm in Kiev. I left shortly after my mom's death, and I didn't do anything about sorting out stuff at her apartment. I didn't know how I would find my 82-year-old aunt and 18-year-old cat, but I felt like it's the right time to do it. The trip took 2 days in one direction. I didn't want to take a direct bus from Bulgaria to Kiev, as it would mean sitting more than 20 hours. I preferred to take a flight from Burgas to Warsaw and then take a train to a Polish town, Kelm, and from there a night train to Kiev. I had about 5 hours in Warsaw and walked around a bit. I filmed that as well. I enjoyed walking in Warsaw. It feels like a vibrant city with a historical flair. By the way, I have Polish roots and I only visited Poland twice and shortly. I hope to do it more in the future. For some reason I had a craving for ramen, Japanese classical soup, and went to a ramen place in Warsaw which felt pretty authentic. Could recommend it. If you never tried ramen, it's a thick broth with noodles, with specific noodles, and different additives like beef or pork or chicken and seaweed or eggs, everything. Altogether, it's very, very satisfying. And there is an option for vegetarians as well. I used to organize tours in Japan, so I know what authentic ramen should taste like. So this one is like 90% authentic. I didn't have much time in Warsaw, but I was advised to visit the library of the National University, and it is pretty impressive. It's a huge building, very beautiful and enormous inside. Spacious and with many books and many students who are sat everywhere on the floor, at the desk and the bean bags, reading books or writing something. But the feature of this library is not just the books, but the botanical garden on the top. On the top and around the library. It is very beautiful in autumn. The entrance is free and it's definitely a must visit in Warsaw. Especially if you have just a few hours like me, you're on a transit flight, just pick this place as a number one. The library is about 10-15 minutes walk from the old town of Warsaw. As you may know, it is not literally old because Warsaw was totally bombed during the Second World War and rebuilt, but it is made in such a way that it feels historical and it's cozy and interesting. One of my favorite things to do is to walk around a new city or town and look at how it is built, at design, at architecture, and watching people. This time was special for me as it was the first time in 4 years when I left my family and traveled alone. I used to do it in the past quite a lot, and I kinda missed this feeling, even though I didn't realize it before I actually set off on this trip. So while looking at some footage from Warsaw, let's talk about resilience. By the way, I started the topic in my last video about living with negative emotions. Check it out first if you didn't see it. Resilience, or anti-fragility, is the ability to quickly recover after a traumatic episode in life. To return in the previous shape is a term from physics, and it applies to almost anybody, as most people experience traumatic events at some stage of their life. At the moment, Ukrainians are being collectively traumatized by war and war crimes done by Russia. Of course, those in war zones suffer the most, but those who left the country have their own trauma as well. So what can we all do to become more resilient? In my previous video, I talked about the importance of negative emotions. To experience a wide spectrum of emotions is important to be resilient, to be stable and anti-fragile. You can always give something, even if it's just kindness, said Anne Frank, the Holocaust survivor. Giving away something is another component of anti-fragility. 5 good deeds a week help to improve the psychological immune system, according to Tal Ben-Shahar, the clinician and Harvard professor of positive psychology. Kindness creates an upward spiral of generosity. People to whom we are kind will most likely be kind to us. A form of kindness is the ability to listen to others. The number one characteristic of extraordinary leadership is the ability to listen, to be present for other people. We're slowly approaching Kyiv. I had a really good sleep in this train. I like when it's shaking a bit, and I feel pretty calm and chilled out, although still a bit worried of what would I see there. I must admit, Ukrainian trains became much more comfortable than they were before. Thank you, Ukrzaliznytsia. I didn't see my Aunt Sveta for almost 2 years, and this is the moment of our meeting. Sveta always cared for me as if she were my second mother. I really feel this way. What I definitely missed is Ukrainian food. This is Puzata Khata, which is not the best Ukrainian restaurant, but a fast food place, sort of canteen when you can pick up prepared food and just eat it quickly. It's pretty cheap and not bad. I would say some dishes are very tasty, some are okay, but it's a decent choice. If you're in Kiev or in other towns of Ukraine where they have Puzata Khata, just go for it. We Ukrainians love to eat, trust me, and we appreciate good food. So there are plenty of good restaurants in Ukraine and particularly in Kiev. You know what? For me, it's a sign of life. May Ukrainian restaurant scene prosper forever. Khrushchev is the main street of Kiev. It's not my favorite place in the city, but it's a good place to watch people. There are always loads of them walking, doing something, sometimes dancing on the street or musicians playing music. This time it was a good place to feel the essence of the city. It proved to be vibrant as usual. But there was the area with these flags to commemorate Ukrainian soldiers who died in this horrible war. It was very touching and sad to see how people come and put in new flags or do something about it because probably it's their relatives or friends. This is one of the few places in Kiev where I actually felt that the war is going on, and other places felt pretty much peaceful and like shopping centers open, restaurants are open, people are walking, people are smiling, people are happy, there are many kids around. Of course, I felt like going to a souvenir shop and pick up some t-shirts for me and Peter. I felt so incredibly happy to be in Kiev and to feel it's pretty much safe, as I was so lucky during these 6.5 days that I was there. The siren went on just once and it was for a long time. I understand that it might not be all the time like this in the upcoming weeks or months, as the winter is coming, and we know what Russians did last winter. They tried to bomb the infrastructure. They tried to bomb the electric stations to cut the power off. But this winter, luckily, Ukraine is more prepared. I absolutely love the autumn in Kiev. It is very, very beautiful, as Kiev is a very green city and you can see all the colors in the trees. It wasn't in its quintessence yet when I was there, but still, this specific autumnal air, oh. Another reminder that the war is not over are tanks on the Mikhailivska Square and things like this on the monuments. So going back to kindness and resilience, I think our people are so resilient because they are kind as well. I want to share with you the results of an interesting study. Adam Grant of the University of Pennsylvania conducted a study among different social classes: successful, middle class, and unsuccessful people. According to the theory that preceded this study, people are divided into those who give, those who take, and those who exchange. Like those who give and take according to fairness. You give 3 pieces to me and I give 3 pieces to you. No more, no less. We all have signs of all types, but it depends which one dominates. So, according to this study, it turned out that people of the giving type predominate in the first and the last group, successful and unsuccessful. The difference between them is that the successful people give not only to others, they also give to themselves, while the unsuccessful give something to others but forget about themselves. It is like in the airplane, you first put an oxygen mask on yourself and then on the person next to you, on the child or anybody else. You always should take care of yourself first, of your basic needs, and then give to others. It doesn't mean to be egoistic and only care about your needs and don't care about others. It's about balancing this kind of stuff and just don't forget about yourself. I met some Ukrainians who volunteer so much that they forget to sleep and to eat and to take care of their other basic needs. and then they collapse and have depression. They want to save Ukraine so much that they forget to save themselves. Shouldn't be like this. I'm gonna finish this vlog, this first part of my vlog, because I still have footage to make another part with the view of one of the most beautiful streets in Kiev. It's called Andriivsky Uzvis, Andriivsky Descent, because it goes downhill. It's always full of souvenir shops and musicians, and it's really old and beautiful. It goes down to Podil, my favorite district of Kiev. As usual, I'll be happy to hear your opinion on this video. Have you ever been to Kiev? Would you like to go there? What do you think about all this now? I'll be happy to chat with you about resilience, anti-fragility, and of course about Kiev. See you soon.
Yeah.